Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be doing another coaching session for League of Legends, and we're going to be looking at a Maoki support game. So special thanks to Dean for the donation. We've got another Dean coaching session coming up soon, and really thank you for being patient with me over the last couple of weeks with this, with all the family stuff that's been going on. Really appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get in here. So as always, you want to aim for at least one control ward per 5 minutes, one normal ward per 5 minutes. Should have twice that many if you have zombie wards. Maoki is complicated right now because he's been nerfed several times, and then nerfed in some ways and buffed in other ways. Let me just pull him up real quick. So I don't want to spend a lot of time going over sort of the basics of Maoki here, but here's kind of the dilemma, especially with Maoki as a support. So as a support, you're not going to be able to get as many big ticket tank items as you would in other lanes. A lot of it, you're just not going to have enough gold to do it. Another part is you're going to have to buy a Sightstone, which is very gold inefficient from a personal tanking stat perspective. So that means you're not going to be as hardcore tanky as something, you know, like a top lane Maoki that, you know, has like Randuin's or Dead Man's Plate and just all of these other like big ticket, you know, 3,000 gold tank items. You're just not going to be able to afford all that as a support. So you kind of have to choose. Do you go for kind of the utility tank item type of stuff and get things like Face of the Mountain, Locket, Banner of Command? These could all be pretty good options. Or do you go for this other side of Maoki that really you only see in the support role, which is the AP Maoki. Now, they did nerf this a lot in the preseason, or not in the preseason, but like earlier this season. But it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. If we look at the nerfs, I think it was way back in like in March or something when that was going on. Yeah, so 716. Okay, so it scales up to 8% at max rank, but it starts at 6%. The target's max health on the sapling toss is what they nerfed a lot. Sap magic. Okay, so your healing's down a lot. Okay, they reduced the movement speed. They reduced the AP scaling on it. Whatever, that's fine. Oh, I didn't even realize this. I forgot. So the sapling movement speed is based on your level of boot. As long as it can outrun the enemy, that's fine. And at 425, it's probably going to be able to outrun him. Okay. Okay. So basically, it takes a little bit longer for them to get blown up. It's not a huge deal. Okay, and the saplings don't stick around as long unless you get a lot of bonus health. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, so they nerfed the saplings quite a bit throughout the season to stop AP Maoki. I still think it's pretty good. I mean, they didn't nerf that much. They did nerf some on the damage. They nerfed the damage. But I just tried this like a viewer's night ago or two, maybe like 2 weeks ago or so. I went like AP Maoki, and it still felt pretty good. It still felt pretty good. So that's an option. So basically you have two different styles of play. You can either go AP Maoki, and we'll see what the what is the lineup here. Do you have another tank? No. So you're probably going to want to go the tank route here. But in theory, if you had another tank, you could go AP. And you could do some combination of the two if you want. I mean, you could try to go for something like a Leandri's into a Locket so that you got some AP damage up front early. Then you switch over and go into things like Locket. It doesn't have a ton of synergy. I mean, Leandri's does have some HP on it. So that would synergize decently with Locket. But there's just a lot of different options you can have with this build. But I think in general, these are going to be the choices that you want. Maoki. Runes, if you're going the AP route, you can go Comet, Mana Flow, Celerity, Scourge, Magical Footwear, Cosmic. Insight, this is great because whenever you slow somebody with a sapling, the Comet's almost always going to automatically hit them. Mana Flow Band is going to keep your mana pretty topped off in lane, so you can constantly keep tossing saplings. Celerity gives you some nice mobility, and Scorch, of course, gives you a little bit more early game punishment. Now, they have nerfed all all of these. Not Comet, but they nerfed the base AP on this. On the entire sorcery tree, they nerfed Mana Flow, Celerity, and Scorch. So a lot of this has been nerfed. And then Magical Footwear gives you free, you know, 400 gold value. You get your base boots, 10 extra movement speed, and then 50 gold reduction on the upgrade. So that's always really good if you're in the Insight tree. And Cosmic Binding for the 5% cooldown reduction on everything is great, because you're not going to have a lot of cooldown reduction if you go for the AP route. Other option, which is probably looking a bit more appealing now after the nerfs to this and after the nerfs to AP Maoki in general over the course of the season, is going to be Aftershock, just so that you have some extra resistances whenever you go in. That's always great. Font of Life, as you're crowd controlling people, it's going to allow your team to hit them to get even more bonuses. You can also get Ardent Sensor as like a really late item with this if you want to, so that everybody benefits from Ardent Sensor. It might be a decent option on your team right now, depending on how the game goes, since you have 280 carries. Conditioning just gives you some nice resistances later. Second Wind help you sustain through lane, and then Zombie Ward and Ingenious Hunter on pretty much everybody who's not going to be an AP support. So, and this will help you out. There are a lot of different paths you can go to make this useful. I think one of the most common ones would just be, you know, Banner, Righteous Glory, Locket, Face the Mountain. That's 4 activatables you could use to benefit from this. Or instead of the Face of the Mountain, you could go Ruby Sightstone. So you'd go like Ruby Sightstone, Banner, Righteous Glory. The problem with this build is you're not going to have much AP, or you're definitely not going to have AP, but you're also not going to have a lot of mana regen off any of these items. And that's a big difference between someone like Rakan and Maoki, is that Rakan's going to get either Coin or Eye of the Watchers for mana regen early, and then he's going to get Redemption later, so he's going to have mana regen. You're not going to have any mana regen with a lot of these items here. In fact, they have no mana regen on them, so you're going to... Righteous Glory does, and that's why, you know, I think it's important to get Righteous Glory here, although I don't recommend it on Rakan, just so that you have that little bit of extra flat mana, and it does help you engage. So that's actually a pretty good item on Maoki. Yeah, that's kind of the 2 build paths. Build order, if you go on the AP route, you go Watcher, Leandri, Voidstaff, Ludens. Just a ton of damage. Someone walks into a bush, they get hit by like 3, you know, seeds, and boom, they're dead. Or they're like chunked to half health. So it will kind of make him into a very tanky Teemo, if you want to think of it like that. Like, his saplings are not going to last as long as the shrooms. It's the same type of effect, where you just stack them all in a bush, somebody walks through, and then they get blown up. So that makes him into a tanky Teemo-esque type of character with a lot of CC. Otherwise, you can just go for the big tank, you know, with Relic Shield, Banner, Righteous Glory, Locket, Face the Mountain. You'll want to max your E, your Seed first, then your Q, then your W. I suppose there might be a world if you're going with the tank route where you might max your Q first, but I still think you'll always want to max your E first as support. That's just your most efficient spell and gives you some really good laning. If you don't max it, I would at least get 2 or 3 points in your E, just so that you can have that little bit of extra laning presence. Control those bushes. Okay, but let's go ahead and get in here. Turn the game up, see what we're working with, and after we watch the game and I give the commentary, I'm going to write down a bunch of stuff as usual for anyone that hasn't seen any of my coaching videos out there. Then at the very end, we're going to do kind of a post-game recap. And you can find access to this Google Doc as well as timestamps in the description. If you just want to jump to the post-game for some reason and not watch the game, you can find that. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this up. Let's get to it. Alright. What are you... You're against Urgot Katarina. No, that can't be right. Okay, I can't switch them up here, but there's a lot of people are, looks like they're switching positions everywhere. Okay, so you have Vayne top. Draven bot. Okay, so you should be able to crush them. Okay, sapling. All right, what are you working with here? Can I see what your runes are? I don't know if I can see your runes from the client. Oh, Fog of War, Blue Fog of War. Go. Oh, okay. Let's see. It's not saying runes. It's saying your stats. What'd you start with? Relic Shield? Yeah. How much AP do you have? 0 ability power. Okay, so I assume you're going for the Aftershock then. We'll find out soon enough. But yeah, I think that's probably the right call here. It is tempting because you have such a good kill lane, though, with Draven. Like, should just be easy mode. You can just walk right up there. As soon as you hit level 2, I'd be looking all in level 2. I would ping Draven and just say, hey, like, as soon as you kill one more... As soon as you kill these 2 right here, as soon as he kills that one, it's level 2. And then you should just go up here, just all in, ping, get aggressive, get aggressive, get aggressive. They're going to still be level 1. Oh, you're playing way too far back. You need to play forward. You're the aggressive team. Like, if you get a W on either one of these guys, especially when they're level 1, they have to flash or they're dead. You have Ignite or Exhaust. Exhaust. I would have taken Ignite in this lane. Anytime you're with a Draven, you really want to go for kills. That's Draven's whole thing. And just so you know, whichever team clears the entire first wave and then kills all of the melee minions in the second wave, assuming that both teams get all of the experience from both waves, that team's going to hit level 2 first. So that's how I knew when you were going to hit level 2, is whenever you get that third melee minion, you're going to hit it. Okay, and you need to take advantage of that, because I'm not sure which elo this is, but even at a Platinum, sometimes you can catch people off guard with this. I would say it'd be rare to find a Diamond player that you'd catch off guard with that, but maybe. A lot of people just don't pay attention. So you need to be looking, if you have the superior kill lane, sometimes even if you don't, you can go really hard at level 2. I mean, the most dangerous times in the game, in lane, are when someone hits level 2 and the other enemy is level 1. They're going to have much less stats. You're going to have 2 abilities. They're only going to have 1. It's just a massive, massive power spike when you hit level 2. And then whoever hits level 6 first. So levels 2 and 6 are kind of the biggest power spikes. Level 3 is pretty big too, but level 2 is monstrous if you can just get on them at level 2. So I would have positioned much more aggressively. And then as soon as you hit 2, just W onto him. You might even consider, like, flashing W. Yeah, you should have been doing that all along. Like, that's your first W onto him. And the reason that I'm saying you're much stronger than they are is because Draven does a ton, way, way more damage than Jinx does early. He basically comes to lane with a BF sword because of his Q. And then you are so tanky, especially with Aftershock, that... And like Relic Shield, like you have healing. Like Maoki just naturally has healing too. When you auto attack stuff, you heal. Your Relic Shield heals you. Hopefully you have Second Wind here. That'll heal you. So that time you're a little too far up. Like you want to play aggressive for sure, but you need to make sure that Draven is there with you. So like yeah, maybe try to zone him off the wave, but go on her, go on her, go on her, go on her. I would have gone on her right there because she was taking minion aggro. And just to get her off of the Draven. This guy's going to try to dive. Oh my gosh. That's tilting. Yeah, so... Alright, let's see. So that was the right idea, is to be aggressive, but you don't want to go too far outside of Draven's attack range. So it's okay to just zone them. So right there, if they're backing up, if they're scared of you when you walk up like that, just stand right here, just like right where the minions are, and just do not let them hit the minions. But once Draven's down here and you chase him all the way up here and engage, it's just you know, and they're going to get all kinds of free hits on you. Like you were at 25% health before Draven got to you. So yes, you do want to muscle up. You had the right idea there. But you need to, if they're backing up that far, you need to respect that and just say, okay, if they want to miss CS, just let them miss all the CS. You know, at some point, if they want to play scared, you decide have to let them play scared. You just zone them off the minions. And just keep in mind, every minion they miss is 20 gold. So, you know, if you can, you don't even have to get kills to dominate a lane. If they're down like 20 CS at one point, that's the same thing as a kill. It's a little bit more than a kill. I think most people say that about 15 CS is a kill equivalent. It depends on how much the kill is worth. But with kills, you also get you get assist gold, potential shutdown gold, and all that stuff. But anyways, if you start denying CS, that's the same thing as killing people. Okay, what'd you buy? Did you not buy anything at all? No, you upgrade that. Okay, that's a good call. It's tier 2. You probably needed to put a ward on Dragon, just because Warwick can solo Dragon at some point. I'm not sure exactly what his breakpoint is. Here he is. Okay. But especially with 2 kills, he's very dangerous. Yeah, and he ran around your ward, so he ran through here. Let me back up. Couple of things. Like, I was starting to get worried about Warwick, because those wards aren't... they aren't optimal for Warwick's gank paths. So what Warwick is going to want to do... So he's at... he has 2 kills. He could... So there are a lot of things he could do. He could just walk right down here. And especially if he turns on his speed, if you guys are this far up... Especially if Zoe bubbles one of you, he's going to be able to wrap around and get to you. So he could just run it straight down here. He could run like this way. He could wrap around and go this way, potentially, because this is a really bad ward. She should have at least placed it right there. But if you had a ward on Dragon here... Yeah, so I would have probably warded Dragon and then warded this. Or warded Dragon and then warded this. And you use the Blast Plant. If you're going up here anyways, take his Blast Plant to make sure that he can't use it. Now, who hit that dust? I think they hit the dust, right? I didn't see it when I was watching it live, but something's dusted. Yeah, so if you're going to go up here, you always want to deny that Blast Plant if you can. And the dust. Like, you need to get rid of both of these. Okay, Diana hit the dust. Okay. Yeah, this is just too far. Like, they could be getting Dragon. You gotta keep in mind, you don't have summoners either. Like, you don't have Flash, at least. There he is. Yeah, y'all gotta run. Y'all gotta run. You gotta run. He just walked up. It's right from Dragon. So, when you don't have Flash, you gotta know that there's a high probability they're gonna camp you. That's what the smart jungler would do, is camp you. Because they know you don't have escapes. You don't have a Flash. Draven doesn't have a Flash. So, smart money is on them just camping you. Also, if they kill you, they have a chance to go get Dragon, potentially. So, you know, the smartest decision for most junglers is just to camp bottom. Because it has the greatest rewards. That doesn't mean they'll always do it, but you want to assume that the jungler is going to be smart, and then if they're not, be pleasantly surprised. But you need to play around like they're going to be smart. So, when you don't have Flash, you can't really cross this halfway point. Unless you know where the jungler is. Unless you have really good vision and you see he's top lane or something like that. I'm guilty of doing it too. You know, sometimes I play up a bit too far as well. But, you know, if we're trying to be smart, we don't want to do that. It's just way too risky. There's a very, very high probability he's going to sit on bottom. How are our other lanes doing? You always want to take tabs on that. Okay, Top's going about even. Okay, top just died. Not good. Echo just died. Yeah, and the camp. You got Diana. Diana really can't do very much, unfortunately. Yeah, you're just going to get camped. Yeah, just do the best that you can. Help clear this. Like, walk up and hit this. You have a lot of health. Draven doesn't. Yeah, Draven's doing the right thing by trying to clear this, but he's probably dead. Okay, well that's worth, I guess. Did they get a kill top? Okay, so that's worth. And in this situation, as a Maoki, you can sit here and try to clear this area. I would not have gotten boots here. I would have probably done like cloth armor or something. It's because, like, I mean, I guess you did get run down and killed here. You didn't know he was just going to sit under this tower, but if you're playing tower defense, you definitely want to get... Whoa, what? Oh, Vayne's coming down here? Wait, Draven? Wait, what just happened? Does he have Spellbook? Okay, that's good. Ult. Okay, yeah, they all flashed. Okay, yeah, you've got Font. Yeah. Now, once again, Warwick's probably around here. Use your saplings to scout, like sapling some of this stuff. You always want it on the Baron pit, or on the Dragon pit right there, so you can actually see the Dragon against a jungler who can solo Dragon. Which Warwick can right now. Like that'll probably see him if he does it, but you know, there's a chance he could do something goofy like run over here and blast plane over, or you know, I don't know. That's probably good enough, but you might as well just keep an eye on the Dragon. Alright, he's middle. What does he have? Okay. He's going a pretty mild build right now. He doesn't have a ton of damage yet. He doesn't have Tiamat or anything. So that's good news, but yeah, he's probably going to flank you. Okay, so try to haul in level 2. Oh no. You see, it's starting to see kind of a problem with Maoki. Like, I do like him, he has a lot of fun, but you know, his unique contribution that other junglers can't do is he can be like tanky-ish with engage, but also do a lot of AP damage. But if you're just going like flat tank Maoki, which I think to be fair is probably the best way to build him right now. A major issue is that he just doesn't have a lot of mobility. So if you get counter-ganked like that by Warwick, you know, you're just gonna die. Most of the time, you have no escapes. Versus someone like Rakan, or even like Thresh, can afford to play a bit further back because he can hook from a distance and his Lantern can get people out. So Thresh can afford to be a little bit more defensive. What do you have? Okay, Sightstone. Okay, probably working Ninja Tabi, I suppose. Alright, now he's got his Tiamat, so you gotta watch out. Warwick's gonna start doing a lot more damage now. Like, you can definitely win with Maoki, but that's sort of a major issue, is that he has to get very, very close with his W, and then if things are starting to go south, then he's probably going to die. And he doesn't have as good a defensive steroids as some of the other all-in champions, right? So he scales very, very well with items because of his passive, where he gets a bunch of health based on his maximum health. But, you know, he does, like, his steroids are not going to, and, like, his big thing is he has really good wave clear, right? Like, with his Q and with his seeds, he can wave clear really quickly, especially if he gets a Sunfire Cape. So that's one thing that makes him really good top lane. So he has very good wave clear. He has pretty good base stats. So if you get to a high level, his base stats are very high. And his damage gets pretty high for a tank, you know, top lane. Once you get levels. But as a support, you don't get levels, right? You're always going to be the lowest level person in the game. And you're not going to get that many tank items because you can't afford them. And so he's not going to have as much survivability in an all-in fight as something like a Leona or an Alistar, because Leona has her W to help her out, and Alistar has his ult, so they like have a skill that just gives him this massive like steroid, and he doesn't really have that. You know, he relies very heavily on his passive and just his raw stats from getting a lot of levels. So that's kind of the issue between, like, you know, you might see like a super Maoki, you know, top lane, or maybe even Maoki jungle, and you're like, man, we just cannot kill that thing. He's just like wiping out the whole team. But you won't feel the same way as support a lot of times, because your itemization is just going to have to be a little different. And you're going to be very behind in levels relative to everybody else for a lot of the game. So if you like Maoki, you know, you like his style of play, you may want to consider like a Leona or an Alistar or something. It's not that you can't win with Maoki. Obviously, you can. But that's sort of the explanation why you don't see Maoki a lot. Unless it's AP Maoki, is because AP Maoki is very unique, different. He's a tanky AP champion that can be kind of versatile. So that's what makes him unique and why you would pick him. But if you just want that hard engaged type of champion, Maoki, I feel like, gets out-competed by Alistar and Leona currently. After a lot of his changes. So you definitely can win, but if you want to try something fresh, if you like this playstyle, oh my gosh. Dude, is he seriously gonna get out? No way. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, that's something special. They still don't have that dragon yet? Wow. They've had so many chances. Well, okay, let's take stock. It is a close game. Okay, so I assume you're probably going Righteous Glory next. Vayne is doing okay. Wish these things are lined up properly. Yeah, Warwick's out of control, though. And Warwick has mixed damage. Like, some of his... Yeah, he's just gonna sit down here. Some of his damage is magic, some of it's physical. Yeah, you have to run immediately after that, though. Yeah, okay, go, go, go. Run, run, run. Just throw, like, a sapling or something there. Yeah, I mean, you got 2-on-1. I don't know, honestly. He might be able to 2v1 you guys. If you want to go for this build, I would highly consider... I'm gonna say I would consider Banner of Command. I mean, Righteous Glory is good. You're not really having that many mana problems, though. I'm a huge fan of Banner. I mean, check out the video on the channel about Banner if you haven't watched that yet. But it just gives you so much extra side lane pressure to get them to split up. I'm just worried about that Warwick. Like, I just don't know if you guys can, if anything on your team can even beat him. I mean, Diana's getting pretty fed too. Like, Diana might be able to crack him. Vayne's getting there. I mean, I guess y'all could beat him 5-on-5. I just think that Banner is just so good for forcing them to split up and just winning the Clown Fiesta. Well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Yeah, I think you need Banner. I don't think you can win 5v5 versus... Maybe. I mean, obviously it was a tough start because Vayne just got picked immediately, and you guys did kill the Warwick. He's not that tanky yet. He just does a lot of damage right now. He's being really greedy. I think he's going for Trinity after this. So you will be able to kill him. But now Katarina's going off, and you definitely don't want to fight like a fed cat who's getting resets. And Urgot's pretty rough too. I mean, they have a pretty good team. Just Quarry. Yeah, I just don't think y'all need an engage though. That's the issue. It's like, this is a good item, but I just don't think you need it. I think they're going to engage on you most of the time. And that your role is primarily going to be Peel Draven. So I don't think you need to be the one who's trying to run up in Righteous Glory. Like, once again, the reason you see that kind of stuff on top Maoki is because he's going to have teleport, and he's going to have a lot of items, and he's going to flank from behind and try to tie people up. So you're too squishy, you just get evaporated for that style of play. Oh, it worked out. That one did work out for sure. Just makes me shake my head. If he didn't die, y'all might be able to get tier 2 top. Tell them to go top. Tell them to go top. Someone needs to be pinging this more. Like, yeah, someone finally figured out about this, but that's like 5 seconds too late. You guys needed to be over there. And now they're stopping to do red buff and get raptors. Y'all could have had this tower. That's such a huge wave, but everyone's just screwing around. That's unfortunate. What do you get next? Tab I. Yeah, I'd still just like to see you go Banner Command and just play the macro game here. And then just transition into Peel mode. You pay, like with Righteous Glory, you're paying a lot for that active. Like, you're paying a lot to be able to engage faster, and I don't think that's how your team wins. I think you just peel back and kite them, and then the Draven and the Vayne just wear them down over time. I think that's kind of your best avenue right now. Or Diana catches people in transition, which Banner would force him to split up. The only person Diana couldn't 1v1... I think she can 1v1 that Warwick with that build. I think she can 1v1 anyone on their team right now. Oh, Vayne. Tried to kill him with the E. She got him anyways, I guess. Like, if you were much further ahead, if your team was really far ahead, and you personally had a lot of gold, you might be able to go something like Righteous into Locket, and that would give you the, maybe the tankiness to not get evaporated. But you were really far behind. I mean, you're like, you know, 0-4 at some point. Now you're 1-6. Like, so you kind of got the engage, but you don't have the tankiness to back it up. Go, 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 go. That's what you want. He's face checking. It's getting really dicey. You do have a wards. Yeah, you do have sweeper. You need to be getting more control wards. I don't think I've seen any control wards. Is this is probably yours. But you need to be like using a lot more control wards. Because they almost certainly had a ward here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's warded. So they have too many wards on the map. I mean, I guess they only have like these 3. But that was a pretty big one. I mean, they got a couple of kills off of that one, so... Make sure they don't have any wards. You need to constantly be sweeping. You know, if you had Ingenious Hunter plus Ruby Sightstone here, definitely clear away all those wards. But yeah, now we're kind of in Fiesta, the Fiesta zone, as I call it. Like, people are probably going to go down and fight for that dragon, maybe. But people are just, like, randomly wandering around. Like, you have 2 people trying to come up here and farm this right now. There's no need for that. Got Draven solo farming down here. I mean, Katarina could pick off any of these people. Warwick's coming over here. We have no idea where they are. We know they're not here. So there's probably a good chance there's going to be, like, 3 or 4 down here. This is just, like, full-on Fiesta mode, though. You know Zoe's not there, but everyone else is probably there. Yeah, there's 4 of them. So yeah, your team was out of position. So you need to shot call them and get them out there faster. Okay, You need to be using exhaust. This is the 2nd or 3rd time you've died with exhaust also. Just put it on somebody, you know, just don't die with it. Ideally, you put it on Katarina or Jinx, but, you know, if you got to put it on Warwick or Urgot, you just got to do that. And you see, you got to change something up here, right? Because you're dying too much. 8 deaths too much. One thing you really need to focus on, regardless of the support that you're playing, is don't die. Like, you need to keep your deaths to 3 or less. Okay, so that's a big thing. Even on engaged tanks, even on Maoki, even on Alistar, even on Rakan, you need to keep those deaths to 3 or less. That's what you need to aim for. That's pretty lofty, I mean, you know, especially for kind of these Fiesta type of games. But that's what you need to try. And so, I think that the Righteous Glory is just baiting you into bad fights, because you're just not tanky enough. You're just not as... And I know it's deceptive when they have... When you see the Maokais, you see the pro Maokais, you see just other Maokais who are top lane or jungle that are unkillable and tanky, but that's just not what support Maokai is, because you don't have that kind of money. And I know I sound like a broken record, but that's just really important for people to understand. And not just you, Dean, obviously, but there's a lot of people on the channel that'll say, oh, well, it's... I get this on Fiddlesticks a lot, right? Because people are used to seeing jungle Fiddlesticks, where he has all this, you know, jungle money, and he's a much higher level, and then when I play support Fiddlesticks, they're like, well, why aren't you ulting to engage fights? It's like, because I'm very squishy, and I don't do nearly as much damage as jungle Fiddle, and so you have to change it around. You know, you have to go for, you know, use fear more, and just plan your fights better. Just wait until they use their crowd control. You have to wait until you get Hourglass before you can use your ults a lot of times. It just changes the way you have to play. The same is true of Maokai. There you go. That's acceptable. Like, you can go in and, you know, probably take 2 or 3 people. You just can't face tank all 5 of them. Okay, so you guys are out fiestaing them for now. Oh, let me go ahead and... Forgot I left that up. Yeah, your 80 carries are just getting too big, I think, for them to handle. Yeah, Cat got slowed down a lot, and she's building... I don't even know what she's building, honestly. She's building something really weird. Okay, so I'm just writing down keep deaths to 3 or less. Easier said than done, but I think that a lot of it, if you just went banner instead, and then just changed your style around to be more of a peel, just to try to keep the Draven and the Vayne alive, and just counter this Warwick. Like, when Warwick goes in like that, use your ult. There you go, just like that. Keep them all off, and then, yeah, once they're distracted, then you go on them like that to peel. Instead of you being the first person to dive in and try to face tank 5 people, you just can't do that as Maoki unless you're really, really far ahead. Yeah, doing it like that, waiting on Warwick to come in like that, and then getting, like, Wing to get the Warwick off of whoever he ults, and then ulting everybody else, I think that's a better style. And you don't need Righteous Glory for that, because you're counter-engaging, right? So you're waiting until they come to you, and so you don't need the Righteous Glory to go to them. Does that make sense? So the Righteous Glory a lot of times is, you'll see it on top lane or jungle Maoki, because they'll either just walk into a flanking position or they'll teleport behind somebody, and then they'll go in with Righteous Glory to engage a lot of times. And they'll just have a lot more items than you will. So they can face tank 5 people for a few seconds in time for the team to catch up. As support, you can't. So I just really think that that active on Righteous Glory is just not going to be used that well. So I think a better option would be you could either go, you know, Ruby Sightstone or Eye of the Equinox into Locket if you want to go for kind of that team fight build, or you could go for what I would like to see, which would be Banner of Command into Ruby Sightstone and then into Locket. Banner would give you a lot of extra gold, and it would help you with pressure in the side lane, so you can close out games faster. I have a whole video on Banner that I mentioned before. If you just look on the main page, if you haven't watched that yet. Okay, let's go ahead and recap all of this here. Looking on time. We're doing great, doing great. I really need to try to get these videos to about 45 minutes so that I can do more of them and get a faster turnaround on them for people. Okay, so let's recap this. Okay, so you need a position for that level 2 all-in. We talked about that, especially with Draven. Maoki has a pretty good level 2 all-in. Use W onto him, Q, knock him back into your team. Draven goes at him, especially if you have Ignite. I think it's almost a guaranteed kill against either Jinx or Zoe. At a bare minimum, it's going to force Flash plus heal. So, I would take Ignite. If you're in a Draven lane, I think you just always take Ignite, pretty much, because you want to get kills. You want to try to get those kills, get that Draven snowballing as hard as possible. He's one of the heaviest snowballers in the game, certainly for bot lane. So you definitely want to get that Draven going. What is it? Get that formatting there. I hate it. Give me that single space. There we go. Play safer when your flash is down. So just understand that, like, once the bot lane burns your flash, just assume the jungler is going to be there. Unless you have really, really good ward coverage, just assume they're going to camp you. Like, yes, some junglers won't. They won't, you know, it seems like all the junglers on our teams never pay attention when flash is down, right? But just assume that their jungler is actually paying attention and that they will camp you when flash is down. Especially when you're playing a champion that has no escapes like Maoki or Draven. They're going to know they can get you. I mean, if you're playing something like Rakan or Janna, and they're, you know, your ally is Ezreal or Tristana or something like that, okay, you can play up a little bit further with your flash down because you can probably still get away. Maybe, depending on the situation. But you have a much better chance of getting away. But with a Maoki and a Draven, like, you're not going anywhere. They're they're going to run you down and kill you, probably. So, you know, you have to respect it. If that means you have to give up a little bit of CS... You have to give up a little bit of CS, or your AD carry has to give up the CS. You know, it's got to play safe where that flash is down. Especially if the jungler's already come bottom once, there's a good chance they're going to want to camp you. And just look at the other lanes too. Like, you know, Vayne was pushing a tower the whole game, so they weren't going to gank Vayne, probably top lane. I don't remember what was going on mid lane, but Echo's, he's not that hard to gank. They were showing a lot of preferential treatment to you, right? In a bad way. They really preferred to sit on the bottom. So you just got to be aware of that. But just in general, once your flash is down, you need to, you know, get your foot off the gas a little bit and just say, all right, we gotta slow down here for a minute until I get my flash back. Or at the very least, until I see the jungler somewhere else on the map. If I'm playing Maoki. If you're playing something else, Janna, Rakan, something else that's a lot more slippery, you might be able to get away with some more aggression, but it's still on the dangerous side. Okay, so keep eyes on that dragon. Now, they didn't punish you. Warwick could have done that dragon a lot. So either of those times that he killed you bottom, they could have easily just rotated over and got the dragon. So they had pretty bad macro in that respect. They had free dragons. But in general, especially against like Warwick, Shyvana's, and Zhao, Fiddlesticks, Nunu, these type of champions that are very good at taking dragon early, you have to keep eyes on that dragon. You do not want to give them a free dragon. So just be aware of that. Try to ward it. It's also just a good ward area. You know, it watches the whole river, the whole mid area of the river. So if you knock out their blast plant against something like a Warwick, if you knock out the enemy blast plant, if you're on blue side and they're on red side, you knock out that blast plant and then you ward dragon, they're going to have a really hard time getting you unless they run up the lane or unless he wants to flash over the wall or something like that, which would be unusual. Then it's going to be hard for them to get you unless they wrap all the way around the top side, which is also a concern. But at any rate, you always want to keep an eye on that dragon early on. You know, if it's an Evelyn or something like that, you know, you may not have to watch it as closely. Or if it's, I'm trying to think of something else that like a Mumu or something, then you probably don't need to watch the dragon quite as closely. But against a Warwick, you need to watch it closely because I don't know the exact item threshold, but I feel like if he was level 4 and he had his jungle item, if he had a couple of kills, I feel like he could probably do it. I'm not 100% about that. I don't know his exact sort of power spikes, but I feel like level 4, level 5, if he has a couple of kills, I feel like he could do it solo. Just keep an eye on that. Kill the enemy plants. I mentioned that several times. Get that blast plant. Get the whatever, the dust plant. Consider Banner of Command for better macro pressure, especially if you go Ingenious Hunter, Ruby Sightstone, which I really like. I would go Ingenious Hunter, Ruby if you're going tanky regardless. Even if you don't go Banner, like it's still great for Locket. It's great for Knight's Vow. It's great for Face of the Mountain. There are a lot of items that it's great for. Now, Righteous Glory, I did say that I thought Righteous Glory was pretty good after Banner. But after watching it, I mean, it depends on the team, right? But it really seemed like a kind of a turkey item there for me. And the reason is you're paying so much for this passive. It's only 100% gold efficient. So you're basically paying to be able to run up and get on people. But against a Warwick, he's almost always going to engage on you. Or against a Zoe, she's going to engage on you most of the time. So it's wasted in the counter gauge because it doesn't help you kite backwards. It only runs forward. Unlike Talisman, this allows your team to run backwards and also kite them, and it's on a lower cooldown. So I still like that item on champions like Rakan. But with Righteous Glory, it's a one-way ticket. Like, it doesn't help you escape. It doesn't help your team kite. It strictly helps you engage as you run in. And I just don't think that was your problem. Like, I feel like you want them to go onto you. You want the Warwick to go onto you, and then you W in, you know, knock him out of his ult, and then press your ult and tie up the enemy team. So you want them to come onto you, and then you tie them up and have the rest of your team blow them up. So I think if that's what you want to do, which I think is what you want to do with your team comp, I would have probably just gone for either Locket or Banner. Banner gives you macro pressure so that you can potentially get 4v5s. That's kind of the reason that I said Banner first, then Righteous, because if you split them up, like if you get the Katarina to go bottom to try to clear a minion wave and the other 4 are just kind of hanging out around Baron area, then you can use the Righteous to engage on them because they're not going to engage on you 4v5 probably, and that would allow you to engage on them and force that 4v5. So that's the combo I was looking for, is Banner to split them up and then Righteous to force that engage. But because you had no side lane pressure, it was just a Cloud Fiesta, and you know, it was pretty much 5-on-5 a lot of times, just people looking at each other. And for that, Righteous isn't going to be as good as a first item. So I would have probably gone Banner Righteous there. If you don't want to do that, though, if you're not sold on the Banner, then you could always just go Eye of the Equinox into Locket, or even better, Ruby Sightstone into Locket, into Face of the Mountain for just massive shields whenever you fight. And then, of course, Ruby Sightstone and Face of the Mountain both have a lot of health on them, so that helps benefit Locket even better. So that's probably what I would have done in terms of itemization there. So you want to try to aim for 3 death smacks. And the way that you can do that, especially on tanks, I know the thought process is you go in and then once you're in, you just attack and just spam your abilities. But in general, like once you go in and use your abilities, you want to run back out. So after you engage in with your W, you auto to knock somebody back out, then just start running out. Just leave. Don't sit there and auto attack them. Just leave. Run back out and then try to peel off of your 80 carries. Try to peel off of the Vayne, peel off of the Draven. And just throw a seed over your shoulder or just use that seed to help you kite. I think too many times the mistake is you go in with a tank and then you just always stay all in. So people go in with Alistar and they'll just keep auto-attacking with Alistar. Alistar's auto-attacks don't really do that much, right? And they just get hit with all this collateral damage. So people may not even be aiming for you, right? Like Jinx probably just has a Hurricane and she's just chucking, you know, rockets at Echo, and you just happen to be getting hit by all that splash damage. Or Katarina just jumps in and she's trying to ult the Vayne, but you just happen to be standing there and you get hit with all the Katarina daggers. So I think that a lot of the time, if you just stay in the fight like that, you're just going to get hit by all kinds of extra stuff that you just don't need to get hit by. So just go in, do your thing, run back out. Even better, let them come to you, W, peel them, and then just kind of hang out in the back so you're not getting hit by all the collateral stuff. You're not getting hit by all the area of effect stuff. And that will help your game out tremendously. On Maoki or any other tanks or just anyone that you're playing in general, you do not want to be in that red zone. You do not want to be in that area where everyone is just kind of scrummed up. You don't want to be on that line of scrimmage, you know, for an American football term, or I guess in rugby, or I don't know what they call it, a scrum or something. You don't want to be in the middle of all the action. You want to be on the outside looking in. Even if you start the fight, even if you start in the middle, you need to exit and get out of there ASAP. Even on a tank, you need to get out, because as a support tank, you're just not going to have the items to sit there and do that. Okay, you're just not going to be tanky enough. And I think that about covers... yeah, and just consider trying out Alistar or Leona. If you like Tank Mal, they both have better defensive steroids. And like I said, I think the big strength of Maoki was AP Maoki, because it was such a weird combination of being tanky, having good CC, and having a lot of AP damage. So they've kind of nerfed that. I still think it's kind of viable, but I think just try out Alistar and Leona. You can still win with Tank Maoki, but if you want to diversify your pool, your champ pool a little bit, or try out something a little different, I think that Alistar and Leona might be a good fit for your playstyle. So give those a whirl as well. Okay, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. As always, I really appreciate it. Hopefully this will help you with some insights, help you play your Maoki support a little bit better. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time. Thanks again, and have a wonderful evening.